When we're impatient, what it means is we're not having the life situation we want. In other words, we have already made a judgment. This, how it is right now, is not how it should be. So, whenever this happens, there are 4 ways you can deal with this. Now remember, the only thing we want in life, I would say, is to experience, I'll say it in different ways, is to experience who we truly are, is to experience love, is to experience being empowered, is to experience a higher state of consciousness. So whenever you become aware of your life situation not being the way you want it to be, it is only when you become aware that you can do something about it. So again, what is important is to be self-aware. How do you do that? The whole day, you can keep few questions in your mind. These questions are, how am I feeling? What is going on in the mind? Am I doing what I would really love to do right now? If not, what can I change? So these are questions you can keep asking yourself. And then when you realize, oh, I'm doing something I don't want, I'm feeling something I don't want, that is the moment we become self-aware. And only then we can bring the change. One is you accept whatever is going on. 2 is you change what's going on. 3 is you remove yourself from the situation. So, how do we transform a situation? So some things are very simple. If you're becoming aware, oh, I'm cold, you can change the situation by wearing a sweater. Very simple. Some situations might be not so easy to change as there are other people involved. That mostly makes it complicated. So you can look at standing to bring a change through communication, for example. You could choose to just surrender and accept the situation, or you could also opt to walk away and remove yourself from the situation. Now, what is there to get is when we are impatient, it means we are not accepting what is. Solution number 1, to accept, sounds good. But the question is, how? Number 1 is you do the inner work. You might briefly remove yourself from the situation. Maybe go to your room. What I often do is I will lay on my bed, I will hold myself, and I will start allowing all the thoughts and the feelings to come out. I give it space. And instead of suppressing the feelings, I invite the feelings to become more and bigger. It's like turning up the volume. And it can take a little bit of time, but if you keep going through a process where you're observing what's going on, You keep observing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, maybe your breathing, your circumstances. And you keep acknowledging whatever you observe. And then you keep accepting what you acknowledge. Remember, acceptance without conditions is what love is what is a state of higher consciousness. So this is how you transform. See, it all comes down to that we're programmed and we perceive a life situation a certain way. We have an interpretation, a story. And when the story becomes, this is wrong, because we have made a judgment, that's when the suffering starts to kick in. Option number one of how to come out of this situation is through inner work. You don't need anybody for it. You can withdraw and keep on observing, acknowledging, and accepting, and I guarantee you, your experience will shift. Option number two, you can engage into non-violent communication combined with non-judgmental empathic listening. This you can do with the people involved, or if you're really disturbed, you can again briefly withdraw yourself and do this with a good friend who you have trained in these skills. So these are some of the skills we teach in our higher consciousness leadership training. Nonviolent communication revolves all around, in my communication, I express observations, my feelings, my needs, and I can make requests. Towards the other person, I can listen for observations, I can listen for people's feelings, people's needs, and I can check with them whether they want to make a certain request. I highly recommend the book Non-Violent Communication from Marshall Rosenberg. I'm sure you can find it online if you type in these keywords. So number two, how to come out of this state of lower consciousness where you're impatient is engaging into non-violent communication combined with non-judgmental empathic listening. Number three, a very powerful way to come out of a lower state of consciousness. Remember, any of these experiences like being impatient or being sad, angry, guilty, these are all lower vibrations. These are all lower states of consciousness. And what it means, a lower state of consciousness means it is the absence of love. So what is the solution? It's very simple. We're looking for love. Now, how do you create that experience of love? Again, we're very programmed. Often we want it from other people, making us very dependent and powerless. I'll tell you a little secret. Even scientists have discovered this. At the highest levels of reality, the truth is one of oneness, which means at the highest level of reality, you and I are one. And because we're one, this following universal law works. What you want, you give. So you want love, you give love. It's not so easy for us to give love to what we perceive as ourselves. Mostly we perceive ourselves as the body, which is incorrect, but it's okay. That's a little bit difficult, right? To love ourselves. It's easier to love others. But remember, the universal truth is we are one. So even loving someone else, what you perceive as someone else, is still loving yourself, as we're all one. So when you want that love, what works? It's so simple, guys. Just start expressing your love to people. Visit a friend, call a friend, send a nice voice note or a video, and what you will see as you express your love, it arises first in you and then it flows to the perceived other person. The 3 tips in a row. Number 1, inner work. Keep observing, acknowledging, and accepting. Number 2, engage into dialogue, non-violent communication, and empathic, non-judgmental listening. Number 3, start expressing your love towards others. Good luck, and don't hesitate to share the results as a comment on this video.